Okay, so the Mass Effect 3 ending. Oh, what the hell is this? Oh, yeah, the Mass Effect 3 ending. I thought the ending was okay. I completed the game last night, but I wanted to sleep on this before making the video, just to take in the entire game, look back on the series, and then I'll make this video. So here I am now, the next day making it. Yeah, I was bracing myself for a really bad ending. I heard all the horror stories, like on the Invisible Walls podcast, the YouTube comments, the YouTube videos about how this was a really bad ending and it was rubbish, and watch out, it's a horror, listening to the horror stories that people said about the ending. And in the end, I didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't as good as I thought it could be, but it still finished okay. But I don't think it was as... I was honestly expecting like a huge level of disappointment, like the Borderlands ending disappointment. But no, it wasn't that bad. I thought it was a good ending. There was a few things left out, but again, it wasn't as bad as people were saying. And there's a few things I want to talk about, and I do want to go over the indoctrination theory that some people have been saying. Before I talk about the indoctrination theory, I just want to say that when I went through the campaign, I didn't really have much thought about this. I honestly thought that the ending was as you see. What happens is you get knocked down by the Harbinger beam, then you stand up, and then you've got to make your final stand heading towards the beam. You go to the Citadel, you find Anderson, you kill the elusive man, or he kills himself. Then just before you're about to die, you're taken up to the Citadel's VI, and you have to make a choice there to save the Reapers or destroy them. When it came to the ending, I thought, okay, well, that's how it goes, and I honestly didn't expect that this was a dream. I did sense something seemed a bit off when it came to the choices, because those are the choices I wouldn't make, and it did seem strange how it seemed almost dreamlike with the way that you were able to breathe in space, and that it was in slow motion, and you had infinite ammo for your gun. But I just thought that was just part of the game. But when you hear about the indoctrination theory, it does seem to make a lot more sense. The too long didn't read version of the indoctrination theory is that throughout the entirety of Mass Effect, especially after Mass Effect 2, the Reapers have been trying to gain full control of Shepard, and what they're trying to do now is finalize his mind corruption so that he finally gives in, and that's what the ending is about. It's a trial, a test to see whether or not Shepard is willing to give up and succumb to their side through the use of devious tricks and lies. But before that, when you come to the ending, you are knocked down and you're unconscious, and this is where the Reapers use their final tactic to try and take over Reaper's mind, which explains why the ending seems almost dream-esque. And what they're trying to do from now on is to use the last of his brain willpower, I guess, to see whether or not he would be willing to give in and fall for any of the tricks that they deploy on Shepard while you're knocked out. The thing about the endings, though, I understand people's frustration with some of the endings. About I think one thing to consider is that those who are disappointed with the ending may want to have a look at this indoctrination theory. Again, I'll put them in description because they're highly worth watching. They can explain it better than me mumbling into a camera. Actually, no, it's my 3DS using the mic. But yeah. Yeah, they can explain it a lot better than I can. They explain the indoctrination theory, and there's so much overwhelming evidence for this that I'm pretty much on the side of this is all a dream, which kind of sucks in a way, sort of. I mean, it's going for the Silent Hill method, which is just annoying. The Silent Hill escape, even, should I say. But yeah, the theory I don't think is something that's definitely to consider, but there's been no official statement from BioWare to say that this is exactly what happened. But I think this was something they were going for, and when the extended DLC comes out, which is free, yay, then we'll find out what really happens. I do side with those people though who are saying that the endings are quite lazy, but I also do have a counter argument for that, and while I do think that it is slightly lazy, in that the only difference is a colour filter on, well, it's not even a colour filter, it's the colour used for the explosion on the Citadel. Depending on what you do, when the mass relay explodes, it's either red, blue, or green, depending on the ending you chose. So that's the only difference. It's just the explosion, and that's actually quite lame. And the thing is, I also am on the side of the people annoyed for this part where the everything that you did in Mass Effect 3 has no effect on the ending, because if you're a douchebag, you know, a renegade, or if you're in the running for Jesus, the Paragon, then you can have either ending regardless. Actually, you can have, there's 3 different endings where you choose to destroy the Reapers, side with the Reapers, or join with the Reapers as a race, which is the synthetic one. So you can, and I think that there's like the mix between, again, the indoctrination theory shows that this is actually a trick. But either way, there's 2 endings where the Reapers live and 1 ending where the Reapers die, and you actually do fulfill your mission, which is shown as Renegade. But the endings themselves, the only difference is the colours, and it doesn't matter whether or not you're a Renegade throughout the entire game or a Paragon, because you can choose the good or the bad ending anyway, or what you perceive as the good or bad ending, which is why I understand some people's frustration and that they did get kind of lazy. But I do have a theory for this. My theory is the cowboy, Futurama cowboy alternate universe, is what I call it. The whole idea is that once you've made your choice, everyone will have the same ending, but in an alternate universe. So I'm not saying they're all alternate universes, I'm just saying that everyone who completes the game is supposed to have the same ending, but the universes that they end up in are different compared to those who made a different choice. So if you chose the Renegade ending, you'd have the same ending as the Paragon, where the Reapers X will happen to them. They'll either explode or they'll fly away, and the Normandy will crash land on a planet. Those are supposed to happen, but the minor differences are whether or not you chose to have the Reapers live, the humans and synthetics to become as one race, or species in a way, or the ending where the Reapers explode, so you defeat the Reapers. And what this means is that everyone is supposed to have that ending. I think they were trying to go for the same ending, but with a different Paragon, Renegade or synthetic ending. So when I look at the endings, there is one thing I still have to question, which the indoctrination doesn't give me, which is what I want, and that is an ending. If you don't consider the ending a dream, like I did in my first play, like the first time I saw it, I thought it was actually that it wasn't a dream. I didn't really suss that the first time. So I honestly thought that, okay, I've beaten the Reapers, I'm going to destroy them for good. And there we go, we saved the universe, Shepard, and everyone is cool. Yay. The ending satisfied me in that way. But if we go by the indoctrination theory, which I'm actually believing is what really happened because of the, just a quick secret tip, whatever you call it, if you manage to get 5,000 EMS, which is your military strength, yeah, if you get your military strength up to 5,000, there's a secret cutscene at the end where you find Shepard and in his ensign armor, like the chest, and supposedly he breathes, as if to say he managed to survive so therefore he's still alive, which means that there's still more to the story. But the thing is, if the indoctrination theory is true, then, and he was in his dream, all he did was fight the Reapers in his mind, and he didn't actually beat the Reapers that were on the Earth. All the Reapers failed at doing was taking over Shepard, but they didn't fail in taking over the Earth, which means if you go by the indoctrination theory, we didn't actually finish the game, which is kind of disappointing when you think about it like that. Hopefully someone can explain that to me, because I'm still kind of confused about that. Also, I think some of the fan reactions is way too over-exaggerated. Like, some people are just taking it out on Casey Hudson for, like, some of the bull crap I've heard is ridiculous and kind of uncalled for. I do understand some people's annoyances, but some people are just joining in the bandwagon and just being, you know, general douches. But whether you believe in the indoctrination theory or not, I still think it ended okay. There are a few things I'm still questioning, like whether it's an indoctrination or not. The mass relays exploded, so how did that not destroy the planet? Why did it show whether it's an indoctrination or not in Shepard's mind or not? Then why were the Normandy flying opposite direction? Why did they retreat like chickens? And if they did, then what happened to the fleet? Again, whether it's indoctrination or in his mind, whether it's indoctrination or it really happened, how are the Asari and the Turians and the Krogan supposed to get back if all the mass relays are destroyed? There's still some questions that were left unanswered, and I'm hoping that this extended DLC is going to fix some of these questions. And I'd also like to point out what the one key thing about this. The key point to make about this is that it's called an extended ending. Unless I'm wrong, then yeah, I know, I'd admit I'm wrong. But what they've said is that they're going to make an extended ending, which to me isn't going to fix what people want, which is like a happy ending, or I don't know, some sort of closure, which I thought I got anyway, in some form, and it wasn't that disappointing as I've mentioned this entire video. But the thing is, they're going to make an extended ending, which is to explain it. So I think that whether you like the ending or not, if you're disappointed, you're going to have to live with it, because that I think what they're saying is, this is the ending, but you may not have quite understood it, so we're now going to elaborate on what we were supposed to be trying to say. So I think that them retreating is the actual ending, or maybe Shepard will be alive. They need to finish the ending. It's even though I like it, it's still incomplete in that Shepard, you know, made a breath at the end. If that's the canon ending, so you know, overall, I thought the game itself was amazing. There was one thing that annoyed me, which was, I don't want to spoil it. I don't really care anyway. Like, because if you're watching the ending, you probably didn't know, but it was like a certain mission where Tally died, and I was like, no, because I wasn't high enough reputation. But overall, the game was amazing. The ending, I don't know what to make of it yet. I'm on the side of it could be real or it's in his mind, and the evidence for it being an indoctrination is really strong. But overall, I enjoyed the game a lot, and I thought they did a really good job on it, and I can't wait to see what the extended DLC is going to be.